they can go in at any other time later to watch it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think we'll get started. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jennifer Buchanan with the Newmarket Chamber, and we're so happy that everybody here is joining us again for this week's Wednesday workshop. I'm totally excited about tonight because how often do you get free design tips from an expert for a half an hour? So, and we're going to have everyone's questions answered, as I mentioned. Because we can see everyone, you can raise your hand if you'd like, and we'll get to you, or you can put it in the chat. And with that, I'd like to introduce and throw it over to Katherine Porath of Katherine Joy Interiors, who I've had the pleasure of being inside her home and was mesmerized by her talents. So I can't wait to see what she's got in store for us tonight. And you're going to tell us, Katherine, how to create the perfect floor plan and furniture layout and do it all while saving money, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the whole idea is for you to be able to do it yourself and not pay me to come to your house, and you'll be saving all kinds of money just like that. So there
Wow.
you go.
Well, you take it away and share your expertise with us.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for inviting me to this. This is pretty exciting. I'm going to jump right in and share my screen with you because I have a presentation that I have created that will help you with the tools that you're going to learn from this workshop, hopefully. And you'll be able to rearrange your home just the way you want it without too much trouble. So let's just give it a go here. So the first slide is really the initiation of what we're going to be talking about today. So how to create an inviting floor plan. I've tried to break it down into 10 easy steps for you so you can do this on your own. The first thing that you really need to do, and I've taken just a regular room as a living room or a family room and created a floor plan. So that's what you'll have to be doing first. So the whole idea is to measure and draw out your room. You're going to need a pencil, some graph paper, a ruler, tape measure. And when you start drawing your room plan, you'll have to make sure that you make a note of all of the things that you cannot change in a room, like the doors, the windows, fireplace, any built-ins, and also your ceiling height. Those are all very important things that you need to keep track of. Now, what you see is graph paper, and that's quarter scale. So this 1/4 inch is 1 foot by 1 foot. And so you can do this the old-fashioned way by drawing it out on paper. Why isn't my going here? Okay, whoops. So yes, so then what you want to do next is you're going to have figure out what furniture that you're going to be putting into your room, and you need to measure your furniture as well. So in the furniture, in your sofa, your chair, ottoman, whatever you have, take a measure of it, make a note of it, and write that down on your graph paper as well. And what you're going to do is make a template of each of your pieces of furniture. So if you're the old-fashioned way and you are doing it by pencil and paper, then you can draw out your pieces of furniture to scale as well. So you make sure that it is also a 1/4 inch scale so that it'll fit onto your paper just like you see on this plan. So it gives you an idea of how to move things around, and it's a lot easier to do it this way than to move it physically. So here is just a template. I pulled this off the website. You can do the same. These are all templates of furniture, so you don't have to actually draw them out for what you have. And you can just cut them out and place them onto your paper. That's an easy thing for you to do. Then you've got, if you're the kind of person that would like to do it in more of a computer program, there's quite a few online floor plans that you can download that are free as well. So these are really good to make a note of. Smartdraw.com, floorplanner.com, roomsketcher.com. And SketchUp also has a free program that you can download. And they're really, really cool because when you do the 3D or the online programs, it will go in color and 3D versions and things like that. When I do my design program, I always start with a floor plan in a program like this, and then goes into a different perspectives, and I'll show you that once we get going. So here again is the same room that we started out with in pencil. I've drawn it in the computer program, and the windows and doors and everything are in there. And I've placed in a few pieces of furniture just to give you an idea of how it would look. And like I said, it's a lot easier to move it around on your computer program than it is to move it in your room. And if you're considering buying new furniture, this is a perfect way for you to figure out if it fits. So if you're looking at a sectional, for example, I would highly recommend to measure it out, draw it on your scale in your floor plan, and see how it fits in your room. Because if it doesn't fit, you're going to be in trouble when it gets delivered to the door. Especially now, if we're buying things sight unseen online. I've had lots of clients that have called me after to say that things don't fit. So I want to save you a lot of money and trouble by just this plan ahead. It'll be making you a lot easier. So here's two views of that exact same room. And furniture layout is a little bit different in both rooms. And but what you see is it's the same sofa and the same two chairs. So this is what we call a bird's eye view. So you get to see what it looks like from the ceiling as if you were flying over like a bird. So you can see the two rooms in the bird's eye view. So again, these are the same two rooms. And what I wanted to point out is really the next step you have to be aware of is to create a focal point. Sometimes in our rooms, we don't have a choice to pick a focal point, like in a room that has a fireplace. 9 times out of 10, that is going to be your focal point. So your fireplace is something that you'll have to work around. But what I wanted to be really show you is in these two rooms, which is exactly the same furniture, I have used a different color paint for each wall just to create a feature wall. And these are both colors that are 2021 color trends of the year chosen. The left one is Sherwin-Williams Urban Bronze, and really nice, warm, kind of a brownish gray tone. And on the right, Benjamin Moore chose the Aegean teal, which is a really soft teal color. So interestingly enough, the two rooms, which have the identical furniture, fireplace, and art, both look like two different rooms with just that one paint color difference. So in some of the programs that you can download, you can actually put in the paint color that you're looking at in different companies. So you can really get a good idea of what your room is going to look like. So what are some of your focal points? Sometimes, you know, you're making your focal point around a TV. Unfortunately, that's not one of my favorite focal points, but it is one very common focal point that has to be in many family rooms. So how do we make that work, and how do we make that comfortable as well? Another focal point is art. Sometimes you have a focal point that is neither the TV or the art, but it may be another piece of furniture, like a large, beautiful piano, like this one over here. So if you've got those kinds of things, your room layout will be different depending on your focal point. This is a project that I did a few years ago. And obviously in this room, the fireplace is the focal point. This is a beautiful stone fireplace. We redesigned the kitchen in this project. I had all of this furniture made, and everything is decorated and designed around the colors and the placement of that fireplace. So you can see that on the left of the fireplace is a window that I created, a window bench and storage there too. What you don't see, and I'll see it in the next picture, but there is a window on the other side of the fireplace as well. So this is more of this same home. So you can see the picture on the left shows the kitchen at the back that is a beautiful focal point from the living area looking into the kitchen. But when you're in the kitchen looking back at that beautiful stone fireplace, that fireplace is the focal point from many different points of vantage to in this main level. And the two pictures on the right are the two windows that you see on either side of the fireplace. And sometimes when we have a focal point like a fireplace, that is your main focal point. In this home, there is a secondary focal point, which is the TV. As you can see, it's kind of tucked away on the right-hand side. It is not the major focal point. And so it is still there, but it is not the first thing you see when you walk in the room. So here's just a lovely image of the room from a view from the kitchen. And you can see how that fireplace looks fantastic just from every view of the house, really. So when we go back to the floor planning, the 3D is something that, like I said, I do to all of my clients. This is a 3D concept plan that I did for somebody that we were trying to set up a room to give them an idea of what a fireplace focal point could look like. So in this room, I created bookcases on either side of the fireplace. In the family room, it's fantastic if you have the space to do that, because especially now we're using our family rooms as offices and many different rooms in one. So it gives you an opportunity to hide things and store things away, like laptops and office storage things as well. So here is another fireplace wall that I designed a little while ago. And again, the fireplace is the focal point, but so is the TV. So what we've tried to do is make it balanced though, so that the two of them are not uneven to each other. And then we've got the beautiful maple bookcases on either side. And again, it makes the whole wall as a focal point. So here on the left, you see a 3D rendering of this same project. So you can see how I like to work. So that's the concept. And then the picture on the right is the reality photo. So it's really helpful to see from concept to reality. And in this room, we've created a fireplace as the focal point that has the advantage from both rooms. So there was actually no fireplace in this room before. We added it, which is why it's the box out from the wall in between the two windows, but it's something that you could easily do in any room that is joined like that to try and give it just another focal point.
Can I interject really quick there and
Of
ask?
course, yes.
Did you build that wall out, or was that the makeup of the room, or?
No, that room, we built that out because
Yeah.
we wanted the fireplace, and the fireplace, the body of the fireplace is that deep. So we had to build a wall around it to have the fireplace in it.
Yeah, looks stunning.
Thank you. And this is again, the picture on the left is a bird's eye view of the kitchen and family room. In this home, we took the wall out between the kitchen and the family room and made it an open concept. So on the pictures on the right, you can see the top one is the view of the focal point for the family room, which again is the TV. But the TV is at a better eye level height. So a TV should be at eye level as the same as it would be for a piece of art. And art, I usually like to have it at about 60 inches from the floor of the center of the piece of art or the TV. So that's a good eye level height. So it's just a good little note for you. This is the reality of that concept picture that I showed you in the previous slide. So the family room now is open to the kitchen. You can see the kitchen from the family room. And then the two pictures on the right are the pictures of the family room from the kitchen. So again, you can see how the room flows and how the focal point is really around the TV in that room, but it still gives a very nice conversation area. This worked out really good. Those two chairs are actually swivel, so they can swivel around to the kitchen or back to the family room. You know, swivel chairs used to be like just grandma chairs, but now we're just loving them. Everybody is just, they're making them so beautifully, so they don't look like grandma's chairs anymore. So this next step is really about finding balance. And as much as I'd love to make that stone statue, I can create balance in a room better than I can probably do that. Because that looks like it's a pretty tough thing to do. But here is another 3D rendering. And like I said, I do a lot of these 3D plans for my clients because I think visualization is like the key to a successful project. So if a client can see what the project is going to look like before it's finished, it makes it just so much easier. So in this room about the balance, I wanted to tell you the sitting area. What I suggested for this project is 2 chairs on each side. So 4 chairs in all facing each other so that you can have a really cozy conversation area. The TV is lower again so that we're having a linear fireplace below it. So that makes it a really nice conversation area. And then you've got a nice eye level for that television set. The room behind this fireplace is actually an addition that we are building onto somebody's house. So there's a fireplace on the other side too. So this is a similar project, which is why I threw this one in here. This is another project that I did with a wall and a TV, and the fireplace does open up to the room behind it. It is a dining room on the other side. But what I wanted to show you in here is really balance in the lighting, texture, and the shapes of all of the pieces in the room. So when you create a room, you really need to have balance. And balance can be found in the size of your furniture. Like in this room setting, we've got 2 sofas that are the same size facing each other. We've got a nice big round coffee table in the middle, which is a really nice balance because it gives it a nice inviting path around the furniture layout. The balance and the lighting, as you can see in this space, the kitchen is to the left and the dining room is behind that wall. But what I did was the lighting all coordinates together. So it really gives a nice flow and it gives a very, very nice combination of the balance of light. And texture is really important too. So in the texture, you can see the texture of the area rug. And it's got such beautiful tones in there. It's got some blues and burgundies and browns and golds and grays. And we just picked all of those colors out to use for all of the furnishings. So that gives it that balance as well. So here's a few more pictures from that same project. The picture on the left shows you the part of the kitchen, but the path that goes to the dining room as well. But you can see how I've designed this space to really flow from one space to the next. So you can see that it's just very comforting and harmonious. The colors all flow together and it just makes each space on its own a little bit larger. You can see the dining room, the fireplace opened on that side and just makes it very cozy. The other thing I like to do when it's a big dining room table, instead of putting one chandelier over top, I like to put 2. So again, that's just another thing of balance for me that just gives more light balance overall and just a little bit more of a designer balance for me. So this next step is all about traffic flow. So here we are back on that same bird's eye view of the floor plan that I showed you at the beginning. And with the furniture layout here, it's really, there's an allowance of 18 to 24 inches that you should leave between furniture so that you're going to have a proper path of walking. So you're not going to bump into any furniture. So if any less than that, you're going to be walking sideways or tripping on things. So make sure that you do have that. In this particular room, I wanted to also let you, or just to discuss because every wall has something on it, we don't really have an opportunity to put furniture against the wall. So this room, the floor plan, the furniture layout is really what we call is floating in the middle of the room. So how it's floating is that it's really on a little bit of an island of itself. And the island is the area rug. So the area rug is grounding that furniture, and it's giving it the space around it. So it gives it a good traffic flow. But it also makes it very, very inviting. And I know my family room is like that too. I've got a fireplace on one wall. I've got an entrance on 2 different walls. So it's very hard often to arrange furniture in rooms like this. So when you do have, just getting back to the traffic flow, when you have doors on here, you should leave at least 36 inches for your door swings. So you don't put furniture in front of that. You need to allow that 36 inches for your door to open. And equally for windows, especially if you've got window coverings on them like this, you don't want furniture to be right up against the wall. So you want to leave yourself at least 12 to 15 inches away from the wall. Even if it doesn't have curtains, I really like to have the sofas just about a foot away from the wall because it makes the room actually feel cozier. If you have the furniture all stuck against the wall, it just feels like, you know, like you're too tight. So here is that same floor plan, a 3D rendering. So it gives you that depth of space for your traffic flow. You can see actually how easy it is to walk around that ottoman and then around the back of the sofa. So it makes it very inviting and lots of room for and a great traffic flow. So as again, we spoke about area rugs. In my design business, I love area rugs. I am like addicted to them. And I already apologize to my clients when I first meet them because I'm sorry, but you have to have an area rug somewhere. We'll have to find you one. I just find that they really help ground the room. And when I'm starting with a client and we have nothing in the room, before we even start looking at furniture, I go and pick an area rug. So the area rug is my starting point. And it's a starting point because it can be a starting point for the inspiration, for the fabric, for the style, for the size of the space that you're going to be using. It's really, for me, I love to start with that because when I take a client shopping for area rugs, it's like choosing a piece of art. You know, they could have a pattern on it like this one, or it could have a texture. You really get to know somebody when you go and choose area rugs to see what kind. And for me, that's what I like to start with, working, I call it from the ground up. So so that's the style, but the size, I want to make sure that I see so many people's homes and they have area rugs that are too small, and it just makes me cry. So I think that you should have the bigger, the better. And as long as your front legs of your furniture is on the area rug, it's fine, but it should be as big as you can put it into the room without touching the walls. So
I wanted to ask that question because there's always debate when you have an area rug. Does the furniture have to all be on the rug or half off? But you've just answered that question.
Yes, and area rugs typically come in standard sizes. So 8x10 or 8x11 is a standard size. That's usually most rooms can accommodate an 8x10 or an 8x11. Some larger rooms you could go to a 9x13. But typically, if you're even looking at most of them are 8x10 or 8x11, and that's a good size. This is an 8x10 in this particular room. And as you can see, the back legs of the furniture are not on the carpet, which makes it fine. I wouldn't want it to be squished all on the carpet because then it would look like you were really on a flying carpet, you know, and on the island. We want you to be a little bit off the island, but a little bit on the island. So that's where the area carpet idea comes from. So here is the view from this 3D rendering. And you can see again, it's a very inviting floor plan for traffic flow. So you can see that there's a nice path to walk around. The conversation area is quite inviting. And the fireplace as the focal point is still a great view from there. So here's another project that I wanted to share with you. This is a carpet that we bought first. So you can see how the fabrics just coordinate so perfectly with the carpet because we picked the carpet first. And so I always like to do the bigger pieces in the darker colors because it just grounds it more. So in this carpet, we picked that beautiful kind of a mink color in a velvet. And then I did a leather storage ottoman in an ivory, and then popped some gold from the carpet in pillows with a little bit of the soft blues as well. So
Catherine, Kim was wondering, where do you shop for your carpets? Do you have a particular place or all over?
All over, but it really depends on your budget. So this particular one came from Weaver's Art, and you have to have a nice budget for this. I think this carpet was about $10,000. But there is another company that I use called Rug Manor, and their carpets you can get about the same size for about $2,000. So the patterns are different, but it does still the same idea for the finished look. So it really, like I said, this one and carpets are they're organized and categorized by pricing for how many knots they have in them. And this one is hand knotted and has I don't know, 1 million knots per square foot or a square foot, and it's all 100% wool. So Rug Manor has the more of the polyester man-made fibers, equally as soft and luxurious. And they're doing a great job of making them to look pretty good for a much more affordable price. So I've been selling a lot of those for clients because it's easier to fit that into a budget.
We've got some questions in there, Catherine. Like,
sure.
Just so
just throw them out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So sticking with the area rugs really quick.
Sure.
Any area rugs better for pets? Someone mentions they've seen a brand called Ruggable where you can wash the top layer. Are you familiar with that?
I am. You can apparently put those in the washing machine. And I have not seen them myself, but I have had colleagues say that they have bought them and they're quite pleased with them. So it just means that they're a thinner carpet, but almost more like a fabric.
Right.
But they would be good if you could throw them in the washing machine. The wool is an easy fiber to clean, and so is polyester, but it's just a matter of catching the dirt when it happens and cleaning it properly. So if any rug, whether it's a wool rug or a polyester rug, you spill something on it, the best trick is just to pour water on it and pat it down. So it's and wool carpets, because the knots are so tight, typically if anything is spilt on there, it will just bead on the top residue. So it's not going to go sink into it unless it sits there for a long time. But the trick is, if you catch it quickly, you'll be able to clean it up pretty good. But if you have pets, I would go with I always tell my clients to pick a color, the same color as your pet.
Right.
So if you have a black lab, you might not want to buy a white carpet.
Right. Thoughts about a built-in corner fireplace and then how you align the furniture around that?
Well, yeah, built-in corner fireplaces, again, that's going to give you a different kind of a focal point. So your focal point will be then on the side of the room. And in this case, you probably want to make a secondary focal point. So in rooms like that, I would do the fireplace on one corner and then maybe a wall that would have like a TV and a built-in, and then the furniture would be facing that TV and the built-ins, and the fireplace could still be on the side. Or if you have enough room, I have done it before where I've I've diagonally placed all of the furniture facing that corner. So it gives it a totally different look in your room, but you have to have the room to put that because you're going to have a lot more space that will take a sofa if you put it sideways.
Ottoman versus coffee table. Is one more trendy now? Because I've been looking at your pictures. You've pretty much got ottomans in every single picture.
I think I'm a bigger fan of ottomans because it gives an opportunity for extra seating. And for me, it's all about livable. So if I'm going to be sitting down, I want to put my feet up because I don't have long legs and I'm always trying to put them up. So
right.
And I'm about practical too. So if we could make an ottoman that you can put your feet up and be storage too, then it's giving you a 2-for-1. So that's what I like.
I can't believe we've just like literally gone through a half an hour just like that. Can we sneak in 1 or 2 more quick questions?
I'm not finished my slides, so we can go if you want.
So the question was a recommendation for the distance of the couch from a combo fireplace TV, if that's your focal point. Where should the couch be?
Well, it depends how big your sofa or big your TV is, because the bigger the TV, the farther away you should be. So you don't want to be too close to a big TV because you're going to be in your chair like this.
Right.
So you want to be, it's probably about 4 feet at least away from your TV if you can, and further. I wouldn't go any closer than 4 feet. Probably 5 or 6 would be better, but again, it depends on what size of room you have. So I'm going to quickly, if everybody's
you finished,
okay,
yep,
I'll quickly go through some more. So
okay.
Here's another area rug that we picked. And again, the furniture that we picked was all around this area rug. We picked it first. So we picked the gray of the carpet for the sofa and the black of the table and some really cool poofs with a touch of gold and then the stone fireplace. The next thing too, there's 2 more steps. So this second last one is layer your lighting for balance. Lighting is so important in your floor plan. And I just want you to be aware of that. There's so many different ways that you can add lighting to the room. You can do like these table lamps. You can do overhead lamps. You could do pot lights. Floor lamps, all different ones. But if you can have a combination of some of those in each of your rooms, then it gives you a balance for lighting. It's really a great thing. So this is the same home again, but you can see all of the different lighting that I put in from this view. So you've got the semi-flush light on the ceiling and at the bottom of the stairs. You've got a really nice wall sconce going down the stairs. But you can see the lighting into that living room area that has, just like the layers of light you can see on top of each other. And of course, candles are always the best form of light too, especially if you didn't live in Montreal during the ice storm. So the last step here is really the fun part. So adding art and accessories. So just to make sure that, you have it again to scale in your room. You don't want to have it too big or too small. Like the picture on the right, that piece of art is in scale with the table that's underneath it. So you can see that it works in line, and that's really makes it feel more balanced. The picture on the left, where you've got 4 different pictures together, those are fabulous behind a sofa. If your sofa is large, that's great. The bigger the art, the better. It's kind of like the area rug, go big, because it's really, it's fun. It adds a really big focal point as well. And again, what I had given you the tip before for the height of the art, 60 inches from the floor to the center of your art should be where it gets hung. So that's really important. This is a project that I just finished doing recently, and this I wanted to talk about the art because it's just so stunning. Vicki Carruthers, a friend of mine in Aurora, she's the artist for this. And we started with this piece of art for the room before we had anything else. So that was our inspiration for this room. So sometimes, you know, when you don't know what you're doing in the room and you don't have an area rug or anything like this, you can start with a piece of art and then create your room around it. So that's really it. And look at all those fun colors. Like who would,
that's so much fun. I love it.
right? Don't you love it? And those ottomans we had made, it's just like so much fun. Again, an ottoman, sorry about that, but yes.
It makes sense. It's extra seating.
But there's a table in there too.
Someone's asking, where do you source your swivel chairs from?
So those swivel chairs are from Brentwood Classics. So I like to source all my furniture locally. So I like to use all of the local furniture makers. Brentwood is, they're right here in Toronto. There's quite a few others that are in Toronto. I'd like to use those because you don't have to worry about customs or shipping, and you're supporting the local group. So I'm just going to go quickly through this summary, and hopefully you guys have learned all of this so we don't have to go back to step number 1, but hopefully you'll know how to measure and draw your room to scale, measure your furniture, create scaled images of your furniture, place templates of furniture on your floor plan, choose a focal point, find your balance, make sure your room's not lopsided or dark, consider your traffic flow, keep a clear path, ground your seating area with your area rug, layer lighting for balanced illumination, and finish with art and accessories. So the whole trick is to plan ahead. So if you're planning ahead, you're going to save money and it's going to be a joyful experience. I had to
Wonderful. Yes, you did. That's fabulous. I loved all of the art. I loved all of the furniture. I know we went a little over there. So if anybody has any other questions,
well, I have one other thing to share if you guys want to, if you have another minute.
Sure.
Okay, let me just get rid of that.
You might have to stop sharing your original and then reshare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And now share.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So in this is a larger plan. So this is a blueprint plan of a basement project that I'm working on. And as you can see, it's a little bit bigger than just one room, but it's when you do one room, you can easily do more rooms and then you end up doing a whole floor. So I just wanted to share with you, this is kind of fun because you can see the room go from, I just need to move that. You can see the room go from the blueprint view, and I'm going to show you, this is the bird's eye view. So I can move it around and you can kind of see that. And before I get into the other view, I just want to show you, this is, so you will come down the stairs here. This is a bar, the pool table area. This is a media room. So there's a screen projector here. There's a glass wall here, a glass wall here. This is actually a cigar room and it walks into a wine room. And then you walk around here to the back and there's a little exercise area and a powder room at the very back. So now that you can kind of get a feel of that, I can take you through the room, how it looks. So this is what I do for clients. I start with a blueprint view, like I just showed you with that small plan. And I create it into a 2D plan and then the 3D rendering. So I can take the clients through the project so they can actually see exactly how the room is going to look like before we get started. So here is the bar area, and I can show you that it comes down from the stairs here. And then we've got the games area. And then what I wanted to do from this space was create an openness, but a closed area as well. So you can see there's a glass door here. This goes into the cigar area and the wine room. And this is a glassed in area that goes into the media room. So it's open, but it's closed. So it gives you, or gives these clients the opportunity to have that privacy. So somebody can be in here watching a movie and being, somewhat quiet because the glass is going to keep it quiet. So it's a nice view. And
I love the look of the glass too.
yeah, isn't it nice?
It is. It really is.
So that when you're actually sitting in this room too, you can see if you're having a party and somebody's watching TV, and you can see the guys out here playing pool, or girls playing pool or whatever. And you don't have to go far to ask somebody for a drink, right? So
Right.
good. And then this client wanted to have a cigar bar. So I thought, oh, this is going to be fun. So this room too, with all of the paneling, it makes it very, very masculine, very cigar bar-ish. But, and then you go into this wine room and you can do a wine tasting, and you can, check out the different wine you've got in there. And it just gives you kind of a fun feel before you've even started the room. You can get an idea of how that room is going to feel.
Wow.
So let me get back out of this room here.
That's a fantastic basement.
Right? Yeah. So let me just take you around to the gym. So I'm going to go down this hallway here. And there's a little gym area. And then we've got, this is a closet here. And then in here, we've got a little powder room.
Wow.
So it's kind of fun, kind of a fun program to work with. You can kind of give the client, like I said, a really nice feel of how the space is going to work for them. And like I said, I work with all of my clients this way. It's been a very interesting year where I've been challenged by not being able to see clients, but I've been.
Well, this helps, obviously. They can actually see that. So that's great.
Well, it's been fantastic in the sense that they can actually measure their room for me, send me the measurements. I can draw this up for them and send it back. And so that they can see exactly how their space is going to look without me even meeting them. So I have done several projects like that already, and it's been quite an interesting journey, but it works. So if we can't get out of our houses, not to worry. And, as long as you can work with, I can show you how to use a tape measure. And
I would never leave my house with a complaint if I had a basement like that. I'd never leave my basement.
Right. Well, and the whole idea, what I like to do when you're doing a basement is not to make it look like a basement. So you want it to make it look like whatever you need it to do. So they wanted it to be more of a entertaining area, and not just for their teenagers, but for their adult friends.
Well, thank you so much. We've gone over 15 minutes, but I think what you've shared with all of us has been invaluable. I certainly have loved all the tips, and I loved the teal color at the beginning. That's really nice. Yeah.
Yes, very, very cheery.
So thank you so much for doing this. And for those of you, you can always reach out to Katherine Joy Interiors, and certainly you can give people some more tips. And I did want to also let everyone know that this is all part of the Newmarket, the virtual Newmarket Home and Lifestyle Showcase. So Katherine's part of it. She's got a great video on there. She's also done some design tips. I think they'll be on next week. But we just encourage everybody to take a minute, go to newmarkethomeshow.ca, and especially in light of the news today, support local, shop local, check out the local vendors. And we really appreciate you doing this with us tonight, Katherine. Thank you so much.
Well, it's my pleasure.
And thank you to everybody for spending your Wednesday night with us here at the Chamber.